So you want to go on a self-guided hike. What even is self-guided hiking? Well, fortunately, it is straightforward. You work with a tour service provider. You pick the route, and they make all of the logistical arrangements for you. In our case, we chose to hike the ancient salt trail in Bavaria. This is a route that's been used by miners for thousands of years to extract salt from the hills and bring them to market in the villages below. The tour company provides the maps and the trail app that you use on your smartphone. They make all the lodging arrangements in the local inns and hotels because they have existing relationships with all of them. They even make sure that your luggage gets picked up from a hotel and taken to the next hotel where it's waiting for you when you arrive. This allows you to enjoy the hike with nothing but a day pack. You are not part of a group. You are not on anyone else's schedule. You start whenever you want to. You rest when you need to. You take a break whenever you wish, and you enjoy the journey at your pace. For me, this was absolutely beer hall pushes.
Oh, look at this. Ooh, what is this?
Ah, yes, the Hofbrauhaus in Munich. Opened in 1828 by King Ludwig I.
All right, John, we're finally here at the Hofbrauhaus, our first beer. And what's coming next?
Schweinehaxen.
Schweinehaxen.
Cheers.
Eat your heart out, boys. Look at that. That's so nice.
So it's day two, Saturday. We're at the train station in Munich, about to head out southeast to Lake Chiemsee, the largest lake in Germany.
So we get there to Lake Chiemsee, but there's no taxis. So we decide we'll take our luggage, go have lunch. I have the mushroom pizza. He has the bolognese. It was just delightful. Then we decide we're going to walk to the hotel. And John's leading us through this delightfully classical Bavarian neighborhood. All these houses are just postcard perfect. It's magnificent. However, the road is starting to get a little more narrow as we go ahead.
Charming neighborhood.
Okay, John.
Then the road flat out ends, and we're in the
We're
woods.
gonna walk to the Chiemsee. Yeah, through this trail in the forest that's overgrown. It's not paved anymore. John, here we are. We're taking us on a trail. You swear to the hotel. Yep.
Now, we're not even on the hiking trail yet. This is pre-hiking trail, but we are humping our luggage up this hill, and it's work. Deeper and deeper in the forest we go. I'm getting a bit concerned.
Darling, if I don't see you again, I want you to know that I love you. The path is suddenly blocked by a fallen tree. We have to somehow get over not one, but two separate trees to get to the other side of this path. Okay, so now we're finally going to climb up over that other tree, get back on the trail, heading down towards Chiemsee. You can see civilization in the distance. Our long march through the forest may be over. The road! We're back on the road again. So here's the route for day one of actual hiking. We're starting at Prien and going south, working our way down to Marquartstein. Every day started the same way. You'd be on a flat plain, and then you'd work your way up towards the mountains through some gorgeous scenery. Here we are, near the base of the mountain, working our way up. Sometimes the higher you get, you come across these gnarly staircases like this one that I thought were going to fall apart at any second. But slow and steady wins the race, and it was beautiful, and we're all alone in the mountain. Day 4, here's the route.
Me too. Hit it hard. 17 kilometers is the estimate.
Going up to what? What's the elevation? 1,200?
1,200, 1,400.
Woohoo! And is this the main trail, John?
This is not the main trail.
You're taking us on a shortcut?
According to the map, this is a shortcut.
It's a shortcut with a much steeper grade, no?
Yeah.
Am I saying or am I saying? It kicked my ass. I'm saying right now, it kicked my ass.
It was a bit, but
The first break of the day was at the Schnappenkirk, a beautiful chapel constructed in 1640 with a fantastic view. Charming.
between Monkorstein and Bergen.
Yeah, and we're stopped at this little, charming little hut. And they are bringing us all kinds of goodness, things to eat and drink. And we're just going to savor the afternoon.
Yeah, mit Bacon. Ich verstehe.
Speck.
Ja, mit Speck, ja, ja. Genau.
Genau.
Ah, so wunderbar.
Ja?
Dankeschön.
What do you think?
That's amazing.
The plate that they gave us with bread and with salami and 3 kinds of ham, and there was gherkin pickles, and there was just everything. It was this. I'm not big into horse radish. John loves it. I was more on the bacon fat, which was really good. But what I want to take this here and introduce you to the Radler. And the Radler is beer, but there's a little bit of lemonade in there to keep you straight and honest. John and I have a few more miles to go, so we're going to have our second drink is going to be a Radler. So we had some beer, and it triggered some ideas I've been really mulling about for some time in my head. And the big thesis I have is that the Beverly Hillbillies,
Requires a suspension of disbelief.
well, it starts off with the song
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed.
that sets up the entire paradigm,
Yeah.
right? So Jed is out there hunting some local game, and a bullet strikes an oil well.
And one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crude.
A gusher, so to speak, and suddenly finds himself suddenly with more gold than King Chrysius, right? And the kinfolk, all his relatives in the area, suddenly get together with one uniform opinion that Jed should leave this area.
Said, California is a place you ought to be.
Now, this is where I have problems, because if I think about my kinfolk and I were suddenly rich, they would be like, buy me a car, buy me a house. And, you know, I'm sure Jed's kinfolk were like, I need more teeth. I need to get this back from the pawn shop, things
Already she has her beady little eyes on Jed Clappett's money.
like that, right? But no, they all come together and somehow come with the uniform opinion that California, not Arkansas, but California is a place where Jed and his family ought to leave, to go to. And without any thought or discussion, Jed just did that. I mean, like some lackey, instead of the billionaire that he is, just went up there and took his car of questionable mechanical integrity.
I was going to say, let's riff on that for a moment. If you had the means,
Yes.
why would you take the rickety old vehicle? Why wouldn't you invest in a more reliable source of transportation?
You're carrying your worldly goods.
Once again, why would you need to take those? Would they not be available for purchase?
So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is.
I would imagine that his kinfolk would probably have, in California, some reception committee. No, yes, no? And, you know, does he get a starter home? I mean, do they, like, maybe put him in, like, a small bedroom in Malibu, maybe? Nope. What do?
Beverly Hills.
Somebody had to go to Beverly Hills, look at this property, and say, yes, this is what a man who lives in a wood cabin is going to love.
This is the most beautiful mansion in Beverly Hills.
So again, my feeling is that the entire premise, the paradigm, just falls to pieces. We're coming down into Bergen, and it's been down for the last mile. And we actually had to take a break because of it. And so I'm looking for a place to sit, and I found something that I think is special. You look at this stump, It's a stump-covered moss and then covered in clover. I'm going to sit there. Here goes. Oh, ooh. Oh, that's special. So breakfast in the delightful town of Bergen started out with this wonderful array of fresh bread, scrambled eggs, cold cuts, vegetables, Nutella, there was orange juice, there was water, of course there was coffee. What a great place. We walked across the street to the cable car, and you know, most times in life you don't get to start at the top. Well, today we're starting at the top. It took us about 15 minutes to get up there, and we were rewarded with just a well, you can see for yourself. Now, we weren't the oldie ones taking advantage of that altitude. So, after we enjoyed those guys sailing off the distance, you think, okay, it's downhill, right? Downhill isn't always your ally. Really, as we learned very much today, it can be downright terrible. Just take a look at this.
Feels like I'm falling. Feels like I'm falling.
From there, we came into some beautiful alpine meadows, just gorgeous. And even all day long, I would come across these sceneries, these shots that said, my God, if Bob Ross were only still with us, he would love to paint all of these wonderful places. Now, the road widened a little bit, but it was still a very, very steep decline all the way down for a while. Finally, we reached this gorgeous alpine brook where we sat down and just watched it for a few minutes and decompressed a bit. We weren't out of the woods yet, so to speak, well, literally. We still had about an hour and a half to go to the town of Ruhpolding. What have you ordered for us?
I ordered myself a Schweinebraten.
What's Schweinebraten?
It's beef.
Beef?
Cabbage and potatoes.
Yes.
For you.
A lady will have the linguine and white clam sauce, and a
Wiener Schnitzel.
With wedges.
Okay, so this is pork,
Yes.
fried pork with potato wedges. I think you've done a magnificent job ordering for us, Johnson. Thank you. Yes.
Day 5 begins.
Yes.
At the start of the day, we look for this symbol right here. This is the trail mark that keeps us on the straight and narrow. The day started promisingly enough. Very, very flat, beautifully paved, gravel paths, following along a river. Just delightful. The weather was cool, slightly cloudy, and
Whoa,
we
this is
started to
treacherous.
hear some sound of water. Following the path, down, down, down. We were soon rewarded. Just a charming waterfall. Heading away from the waterfall, the river was again pristine. Everything in Bavaria, water-wise, is spotless. Wonderful. It was cool. You could hear the water tinkling. Idyllic, really. Now, halfway through, we crossed this beautiful piece of furniture. They call it a sofa, a forest sofa, and it's available from Germany, Amazon Germany, for $700. Man, we were here and we could have spent all day here. So comfortable. Now the trail continued along, nice and flat. We went through an old railroad tunnel.
It is almost perfectly flat today. We are making unbelievably
I shouldn't have said this because the minute I did, the trail just started going up. And it went up and up. Here's an interesting angle. I turned the camera facing backwards, so this is us looking back as we ascend the mountain.
up and up. This last 15, 20 minutes that I've been here has been nothing but one unending hill.
We stopped for a tasty hot dog lunch to give us a little break.
The road to Bad Reichenhall is bad medicine.
At this point, we crested, and now we had all the way down to look forward to.
I'm going down this hill, Bad Reichenhall. I've been going down for like 20 minutes.
We pulled into Bad Reichenhall at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and just missed a massive storm.
The next day we visited Berchtesgaden, which was the home of Hitler's chalet, the Berghof, as well as the Eagle's Nest, which was a mountain chalet built in his honor in 1939. To get to the Berghof, you take a trail down from the documentation center and you walk through these lovely woods, just green and peaceful. It's hard to imagine that right here is where Hitler planned massive battles like the invasion of Russia that led to the death of millions of people. Him and his generals would gather in this large room where they'd lay out these giant maps of the battle and make plans for the invasion, all in front of this beautiful 90-pane massive window. Now the only thing that is left today is the view, which I think is just super impressive. Back on top to the Eagle's Nest. Today it is an observation room. It's also a beer garden. To get up there, you take an electric bus, about 15 minutes up this narrow, windy path. And then you have to go into the mountain through this long corridor that leads you to a gold elevator that takes you up right inside of the Eagle's Nest. Here on top, we're walking out towards the back where the beer garden is. This was just simply gorgeous. It was like being on the top of a Swiss mountain.
So John, how high are we?
Dave, we are above here.
So there's a guy paragliding a couple hundred yards below us.
We spent the rest of the day visiting the town of Berchtesgaden, which is absolutely charming. Here I am in Market Square. This is a place where in 1945 the U.S. Army showed up and declared that, hey, there's a new sheriff in town. We spent the rest of the day hiking in and doing some shopping around there. And final thoughts? Yes. Self-guided hiking is the greatest way to see a place that 99% of visitors never see. It brings it to life, it makes it personal, every day is different, and the world moves according to your schedule. I can't recommend it strongly enough, and hope to meet you out there someday. Thanks for watching.